25. Known as the Island of the Dolls, La Isla de las Muñecas is located in a canal near Mexico City. A man by the name of Don Julian apparently went crazy, left his family, and ran to the island where he hung up a bunch of dolls to ward off evil spirits. He drowned not long afterwards. 24. Just off the coast of Nova Scotia, Sable Island is in a region known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. The only thing you'll find here are horses and shipwrecks. You can probably guess where the horses came from. 23. Though it's not technically an island, Palmyra is a piece of uninhabited paradise in the North Pacific that's been home to some pretty strange occurrences since its discovery several hundred years ago. Visitors often report feeling an eerie sense of impending doom, and to make the stories even worse, there was a murder here in 1974. 22. Known as Cat Island, Tashirojima Island in Japan has barely 100 human residents, but a ton of cats. They were apparently introduced in the 1850s to keep the mouse population under control. After many of the residents moved away, the cat population skyrocketed, and today the remaining residents see them as good luck charms. You can even stay in a cat-like cabin if you visit the island. 21. There's Cat Island, and then there's Rabbit Island. Between 1929 and 1945, the Japanese army used Okunoshima Island as a chemical weapons testing facility, and apparently brought a bunch of rabbits as their subjects. The rabbits inhabiting the island today are said to be the descendants of their unfortunate ancestors. 20. Sitting off the coast of Naples, Italy, nearly every single owner of the Isola La Gaiola has been found either murdered, drowned, or they ended in economic ruin. Not surprisingly, it's been abandoned for some time now and is considered cursed by the locals. 19. Let's review. There were horses, cats, rabbits, and now snakes. Located about 90 miles from Sao Paulo, Brazil, Ilha de Queimada Grande is infested with venomous snakes. And these aren't just any venomous snakes, they're extremely venomous snakes. In fact, the Brazilian Navy has forbidden anyone from even landing on the island because of the danger. 18. This Australian territory, Christmas Island, is located in the Indian Ocean and is home to one of the largest and most spectacular animal migrations on Earth. Every year, about 120 million crabs make a month-long journey out of the island's forests to the beach in order to mate. 17. At first glance, Deer Island, found near Alexandria Bay in New York, looks like any old island with some rundown cottages. However, it's actually the home of the infamous Skull and Bones Society of Yale University. For those of you who don't know, many former US politicians and presidents were members. 16. Howland Island is a US territory in the Pacific Ocean where Amelia Earhart was supposed to land on her around-the-world journey. Since then, the island, along with her fateful journey, has been under much scrutiny. 15. Today, the former Japanese mining colony of Hashima Island resembles a deserted battleship, but at one point in history, it was actually the most densely populated place on the planet. The Japanese crammed it full of forced laborers from China and Korea during World War II. As you can probably guess, visiting the island can be quite a spooky experience. 14. Entirely man-made, the floating islands of Lake Titicaca are woven together out of reeds by a local tribe called the Uros. A long time ago, they likely made these floating islands their home in order to avoid trouble with the other local tribes. These days, the Uros still inhabit the floating islands and make their living off of fishing and tourism. 13. Belonging to Chile, Easter Island is littered with hundreds of huge statues known as moai. No one knows why the ancient Polynesians built these statues, but one thing is certain, it wasn't easy. 12. Found off the coast of Belize, this isn't really an island. It's actually the opposite. It's a huge sinkhole in the ocean floor that's surrounded by an atoll. Teeming with aquatic life, the Great Blue Hole is considered one of the world's greatest dive spots. 11. As part of the Andaman Islands, North Sentinel Island is administered by India, but its locals have resisted contact ever since its discovery. In fact, any attempts to even get near the island with a helicopter are typically met with spears. 10. Starting with the Romans, who sent all of their plague victims to this island near Venice, for most of history, Poveglia Island has been a dumping ground for the sick and diseased. In 1922, a mental hospital was built on the island, and according to legend, some crazy experiments took place. You may have guessed it, but today the island is uninhabited, and none of the locals even want to visit. 9. Ramri Island is infested with saltwater crocodiles. During World War II, nearly 500 Japanese troops were eaten alive. In fact, the incident is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the, quote, greatest disaster suffered from animals. 8. Fiji seems like an island paradise, but that wasn't the case for a long stretch of history. As one early explorer wrote, the tribes on the island have a long history of cannibalizing, torturing, and generally disrespecting the children and elderly. 7. Thanks to volcanic activity, the air on Itsu Islands in Japan contains the highest concentration of sulfur on Earth. For this reason, the inhabitants are required to carry gas masks with them at all times. For a visitor, it can be quite a terrifying spectacle. 6. Another man-made island, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, was unintentional. Thanks to ocean currents, most of the garbage dumped in the Pacific ends up in one place. That place also happens to be twice the size of the US. Don't go looking for this island on Google Earth though, because you won't find it. Most of the debris is small plastic particles that have broken down and sit just below the surface. 5. And yet again, we have man-made islands on our list. This time we have the Palm Islands, and they can be found just off the coast of Dubai. What else are they going to do with all that money? 4. You thought we were done with man-made islands? Wrong. Taking nearly 50 years to build, Fort Boyard was no easy project. By the time the French military was done building it in 1857, however, advancements in gun technology had made its military and tactical advantages obsolete. Yep, you guessed it. It was then turned into a prison. 3. How could we mention island prisons without bringing up Alcatraz? Undoubtedly the most famous island prison in the US, it housed the likes of Al Capone and Mickey Cohen before closing its doors in 1963. 2. Belonging to Yemen, Socotra has had a history of extreme geographic isolation. As a result, many of its species of animal and plant life are found nowhere else on the planet. 1. Also known as Vulcan Island, Vulcan Point is a small bit of rock that's actually an island within a lake, within an island, within a lake, within an island within the Pacific Ocean. I think my brain just broke. Enjoying our lists? Be sure to click that subscribe button in the top right corner so you don't miss out on new ones every Monday through Friday. Share them with your friends and help us consistently conciliate curiosity. And if you want even more lists, check out these 2 videos here, or just head to our website at list25.com.